am torn how to respond to Rusty Hardin's latest flip up, but I remember at the onset of this case, Hardin, in his first press conference, emphasized repeatedly that there was nothing wrong with consensual sex. And one thing that I had a problem with, and I wasn't the only one, some of his now former PR team did too, was Rusty focusing on the most salacious part of the whole deal that Tony Buzbee was focusing on, rather than looking at the simple fact that, look, 60% of lawsuits are fake. And Rusty has had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. Yeah, I know it's late, but I want to get this out. After opportunity to really focus on how Tony Buzbee, the plaintiff lawyer, is using this classic class action style lawsuit attack against Deshaun Watson, where he basically engineers it so that maybe you've got, okay, one or two or three or maybe four legitimate cases, but rather than look at that, he looks at he takes those legitimate cases and then finds any other one that he can make look good, even though it's really bogus. That's what Tony Buzbee has done. And outside of the guy you're looking at right now, nobody has called him on it. Nobody in the press. And Pro Football Talk acts like they're on Tony Buzbee's payroll. They really do. It's shameful. And Michael Davis Smith put out something on Twitter that made me just want to throw up. For example, to take a momentary aside, Michael Davis Smith said, well, early on, Watson was going to pay $100,000 to the accusers. Well, no. What happened was that Tony Buzbee came forward and said, pay us $100,000 basically to make this go away. Michael Davis Smith knew that, but what he did was he took that and he turned it around to make it look like it was Deshaun Watson. Now, you don't do that if you're not getting paid, okay? And my contention, and they can say that I'm wrong because I'm putting it out there, my contention is that Pro Football Talk is getting paid to put out a side of the story that amounts to hyperbole on the part of Tony Buzbee. Why else would Michael David Smith write something like that a couple days ago on Twitter this far into the case when everyone should know better, because everyone should know the case who's followed it? I certainly do. You have lawsuits where the exact date of what was supposedly alleged to have occurred isn't even written. You have another lawsuit that gives a full month time frame, like maybe it occurred between between October and November of 2020. You have other outlandish examples like that. There's too much in this assumptive society of rush to assume that Watson did something wrong just because someone says it. And I think, as we've seen in the Amber Heard Johnny Depp case, just because you say someone did something doesn't mean they did it. You have to have concrete evidence. And it's wrong for the media that are covering this to basically not bird dog at all the case involving the massage therapists and New England Patriots owner Bob Kraft, but then think Watson is someone they can just go after with a plum and a spree. That's wrong. Is it because they're fear of this? They're afraid of being shut out of the NFL or covering the NFL if they focus on Kraft? You know? Or what about Dan Snyder? They can't get anywhere with him. But they have had a field day with Watson. The only organization that has focused on this issue of Snyder is the Washington Post. But with respect to Watson, you've got some nefarious media dealings going on. I'll just say that. There's this eagerness to make him look like something that he isn't, all because Watson wanted to be traded, because he wanted to have a say in the future development of the organization that made him the starting quarterback, which is nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. So, but for Rusty Hardin to continue to make these kind of mistakes, it causes me to ask why. Why? He's really afraid. His lawyers working for him are not, and they're female. Then he's really afraid to go after the women that Tony Buzbee is representing, and he should. 5 of them were allegedly involved in a type of shakedown of Deshaun Watson for $30,000. What about that? So Rusty's got to get more aggressive. Whatever's going on, he's got to stop it and come down to earth. Subscribe to Zenny62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com.